Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we peel back the veil on big business and find out what really makes them tick. Today we are diving into First Busey Corporation's latest report to see what the numbers are telling us about their performance. Before we dive in, if you are new here and love getting the real story behind company filings, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Also, we have a growing community over on Discord where we break down these reports in real time, so definitely check that link in the description below. Alright, so First Busey Corporation, also known as Busey, puts out what they call a Form 8. Think of this as a quick current report that companies file with the big bosses at the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, when something important happens. In this case, it is all about their latest financial results. This report is dated the 28th of October 2025, and it covers their financial performance for the quarter that ended the 30th of September 2025. Now, Busey has a couple of types of stock that are traded on the Nasdaq stock market, LLC. They have their common stock, which is the regular stock you might think of, and then they have depository shares. These are a bit more complicated. Each one represents a small piece of a special kind of preferred stock. This preferred stock is called 8.25 Fixed Rate Series B Non-Cumulative Perpetual Preferred Street OC. Phew, that is a mouthful. Basically, it means they owe investors a fixed percentage of 8.25%, and this is paid out before common stock owners get anything. The fact that it is perpetual means it can go on forever, and non-cumulative means if they miss a payment, they don't have to make it up later. So what is the big news from this report? Busey released their earnings report on the 28th of October, and this filing essentially points to that release as the source of all the juicy details. They are telling us, hey, look at this document for the full picture of how we did financially for the last 3 months. This is common practice. Companies put out their detailed earnings report first, and then they file a summary with the SEC. Alongside the earnings release, Busey also put out an investor presentation. This is usually where companies try to put a positive spin on their numbers, walking investors through their performance with charts and key highlights. Again, the SEC filing is just referencing these documents, so we have to dig into them to get the real story. But this filing tells us these two documents are the main place to look for what they are reporting. Now, I know sometimes these reports can feel like reading a foreign language. That is why we are here at Corporate Decoder. The SEC is trying to make things more accessible though, with things like interactive data files. This essentially means the financial information is presented in a way that computers can easily read and process. Think of it as making the numbers machine readable so that analysis can be done faster and more accurately. And finally, the report is signed off by Christopher A. Chan, the Chief Financial Officer and Executive Vice President. This signature is important because it means he officially attests to the accuracy of the information presented in the report on behalf of First Busey Corporation. It is the final stamp of approval indicating that the company stands by the disclosures made. Now, to really understand First Busey Corporation's performance, we need to look at the details within those referenced exhibits, their earnings release and investor presentation. Though this 8K filing itself doesn't contain the financial tables, it points us to where they are. Companies typically report key metrics like revenue earnings, per S-hair, and balance sheet items. For a bank like Busey, we would be looking closely at things like net interest income loan growth and deposit levels. We would also want to see how their efficiency ratio is performing, which measures how much it costs them to generate revenue. If their revenue is up but their expenses are up even more, then that is not a good sign for profitability. Conversely, if they are growing their loan book responsibly and their net interest margin is healthy, then that points to a strong core business. We also look at their capital ratios to ensure they have enough cushion to absorb potential losses. If these ratios are strong, it means they are financially sound and well positioned to weather economic downturns. We always compare these numbers to previous quarters and to their competitors to get a full picture. For instance, if their loan growth is significantly slower than their peers, it might indicate they are losing market share or being overly cautious. On the flip side, strong deposit growth at a low cost could be a major competitive advantage, allowing them to fund their operations more cheaply than others. It is all about seeing the story the numbers tell about their strategy, their execution, and their overall health. So what is my take on this filing? Well, the 8K itself is more of a pointer to the real information. However, the very act of filing these documents and referencing an earnings release means that Busey is actively communicating its financial status. The common stock and preferred stock listings tell us they are a public company with actively traded securities. The fact that they are reporting their results is a sign of transparency, which is generally a good thing. The key risk for any bank is the economic environment. Factors like interest rate hikes, inflation, and potential recessions can all impact their ability to lend and the performance of the loans they have already made. Opportunities often lie in expanding their services, perhaps to include more wealth management or specialized lending products, as well as in leveraging technology for more efficient operations. Without the actual financial numbers from the earnings release and presentation, it is hard to give a definitive verdict on Busey's direction. However, this filing confirms they are operating under the watchful eye of the SEC and are providing updates to their investors. Always remember to look at the actual earnings reports and investor presentations to get the full financial picture. Alright, that is our snapshot of this First Busey Corporation filing. What are your thoughts on what this signals for the company? Let me know your insights in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into the corporate world. And don't forget to join our Discord community for more real-time analysis. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.